Okay, so this is just covering B lymphocytes. Now, there's two types of lymphocytes. The one that starts with B is the one that makes antibodies. So think B for B lymphocyte. An antibody is a Y-shaped protein that's part of your specific immune defense. So, what's going to happen? Pathogens invade the body, so you have an infection. Pathogens have these molecules, normally proteins, on their surface. We call these antigens. You don't need to know this, but it can help you remember it. It's an antibody generating molecule. So this causes the production of antibodies. That's why we call it antigen. What you do need to know is every pathogen has a specific antigen. So that means that every B lymphocyte is specific to only one type of pathogen. Okay? So one type of B lymphocyte will protect against one strain of the flu. One type of B lymphocyte will protect against one strain of COVID. Okay? So they're specific. The B lymphocytes travel in the body looking out for these foreign invaders, these pathogens. So the B lymphocytes have a receptor. That receptor, if it binds to a specific antigen, the B lymphocyte is activated. Two things are going to happen. One, the B lymphocyte is going to start to divide and divide and divide rapidly. So one cell becomes 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. That creates a clonal population of identical B lymphocytes. Okay? Now, the second thing that happens is it becomes activated. The B lymphocyte will switch on genes that start getting the ribosomes to make these specific antibodies. So the B lymphocyte is activated, it starts to produce antibodies. It releases these antibodies into the body. These lead to the destruction of the pathogens. Now at National 5, we simply just say that lymphocytes produce antibodies, antibodies destroy pathogens. That's not technically true. The B lymphocyte produces the antibodies. The antibodies lead to the destruction of the pathogen. Now how does that work? So the antibodies are going to travel and they are going to attach to the antigens on the surface of the pathogen. When the antigen-antibody complex forms, so that's the fancy name for this, the antibody-antigen complex forms, this deactivates the pathogen. Okay? Now, that's going to make it a lot easier for your phagocytes to engulf and destroy it. So a phagocyte is going to come across and recognize this as a pathogen. The phagocyte then is going to engulf the pathogen. So what happens is you have a phagocyte, it's now engulfed your deactivated pathogen. It's been deactivated because it has the antibodies from the B lymphocyte added to it. And you should remember in phagocytosis, after the phagocyte has been engulfed, there are digestive enzymes stored in lysosomes. And those digestive enzymes, they are what destroys the pathogen. So the antibodies lead to this destructive process by these digestive enzymes. So again, back to 3.5, it's the phagocyte that's destroying the pathogen, but the B lymphocyte has a really important role in recognizing the foreign invader, the pathogen, due to its antigen, creating a clonal population for a more rapid response to a secondary exposure to the same pathogen, and it produces antibodies which bind to the pathogen at the antigen, deactivating the pathogen. That's us.